Malgré son agenda de travail très chargé, ce jeudi, le président de la République est venu répondre à un devoir d'État à Gaborone au Botswana. C'est en milieu de nuit que le chef de l'État, Felix Tshisekedi est arrivé à l'aéroport international Sir Seretse-Khama de Gaborone. Accueilli par le ministre des Affaires étrangères et de la coopération du Botswana, Dr Lemogang Kwape, le président de la République démocratique du Congo et bientôt président en exercice de l'Union africaine est venu participer au sommet extraordinaire de la Troika de la Communauté économique des États de l'Afrique australe SADC, sommet prévu ce vendredi 27 novembre. Ce sommet extraordinaire de la Troika de la SADC sera particulièrement consacré aux questions sécuritaires sur le terrorisme dans l'espace SADC, notamment en République démocratique du Congo et au Mozambique. La RDC sera particulièrement au centre des échanges, étant donné que la question de la brigade d'intervention de la force de la MONUSCO FAIB sera largement évoquée en présence de représentants des très hauts niveaux des pays contributeurs des troupes à cette brigade, à savoir le Malawi, l'Afrique du Sud et la Tanzanie. C'est jeudi matin au centre des conférences de Pakalane s'est tenue la réunion préparatoire du comité ministériel de l'organe en marge du sommet qui s'ouvre ce vendredi. La République démocratique du Congo a été représentée par le ministre de la Défense, Ngoï Mokena, assisté des sous-chefs d'état-major général des FARDC, le général Jean-Claude Diave.
Le sommet dans son ensemble est presque axé sur la République démocratique du Congo. La question du terrorisme qui frappe aujourd'hui la région de la SADC touche assez gravement deux pays, la Mozambique et la République démocratique du Congo. Voilà l'intérêt qui nous amène ici et qui amène aussi les chefs d'État à ce sommet extraordinaire. Nous attendons l'appui de la région. Vous savez que la SADC nous appuie depuis déjà longtemps. C'est aussi grâce à la SADC que nous sommes ce que nous sommes, mais en même temps, nous devons donner aussi notre contribution à la SADC.
La Troïka de l'organe de coopération en matière.
Our heads of state will be ushered in very soon. Just a few housekeeping announcements. We are living with COVID, so I would request that we remain with our masks on, even when we're talking, and also to ensure that we're using the masks that were provided by the host as we came in, and also to maintain social distance. Thank you.
Motswana weso o taitsore phutego e ne ya tota ya organize on e tsore jana ka ta se ga tsone melawana le ditsamaiso tsone tsa COVID-19 o taitsore ha se ka o pharamana kwa gompieno le tota le itebele le bothata jang tsone di gantse tsa tota tsa COVID-19 me mongwe le mongwe o na se ntse rata gona ga pele rile batla go lopia gore mongwe le mongwe a ithatobe a teka maduo a ile gore a less than 72 hours go tla go supa gore tota batho bote ba gana ke ba batho ba balesegileng jaaka o itse gore go na le botautona ba mahase tota ba heta bothana ba leng gona ga ba le gore mana ka gompieno e sentse gore mongwe le mongwe o tlankwano a bele gore o setse di tsamaiso le ditirelo morago tsa COVID-19 gore phutego e tsamaya ka tlhalelo jaaka o itse gore dikgang tota tsa go phuthegana ga mahatse ga batho go ntse go sa letlelwe mme mana ka gompieno bone mahatse tota simola go nolo gatsa gore batho ba ka tsamaya jalo mo mahatseng ka garora ga bone.
So we should all stand as they walk in. Thank you.
Motswana weso ka mona ko sa hitse mpese go se phutego e be e simolola gore e be e simola mona ko sa hitse mpese jaaka ke boletse gore rena le ba itedipele ba like the vice president for Tanzania tautona wa South Africa le no gone ga tautona wa Malawi re ba tsakwera le no o teng gone ga tautona wa Zimbabwe re Mnangagwa le no teng tautona tota wa DRC ne Felix Tshisekedi le ne o teng gone ga tota go ta go tsana ne phutego ne e le gore modula stile ba yona tota ke tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi go okomela lona o kametse lona le khota tota ne lola de Troika ya kgotla lone la SADC sengwe se go nka go tsaya motlhala o ta itse gore e ne e rile hela ka one ngwaga wa 1996 tota le e be nna gore tota le mahase tota a dumalana a SADC gore go nne le yone lekalana la organ on policy defense and security e le gore le itebana le dikgang tsa thokgamo le go rotloetsa gore go nne le kagiso mo kgaolong eno ya SADC tota ka gore mahatshe le one gore a ta dirisana gore go nne le law and order kgotsa go batho go nne le thokgamo mo kgaolong eno ya SADC gore le bone batho ba mahatshe one batho ba kgona go ntshela ka phuthulogo ba sa sebe sepe mme e ne re ka ngwaga ono wa 2009 re ne ra bona gore go na le go amendwa the protocol tsone tsene tsa yone kgaolo ene ya tsa the organ on politics defense and security mme o ta itse gore is tota yone the SADC organ on politics and defense and security e simolotse ke mahatshe tota a SADC a le lesomele bona go 14 ba bana ba taka mogopolo one o ba lebile article 9 in establish on this organ on politics defense and security ke dingwe dintlha kgolo tse le gore tsa re lebile gore tota lone le kgotla le dira eng le botlhokwa jwa lona gore ke eng le dira eng le botlhokwa jwa lone mme sengwe se le gore sentse re se lebele ke gore tota yone lo kana le rotloetsa hela thata gore go nne le thokgamo mo kgaolo ene ya SADC mo gone kgaolo ene dingwe tsa dikgang tsa tong ke gore mahatshe tota le ha o ka tswa gona dikgang tse le gore mahatshe a ka tswa di tswele pele mahatsheng a re batlileng le one ga ra tshwana gore mahatshe a itshweneng ko mo merorong ya mahatshe ko ntle gore a ba lalediwa ka gata se gone tota yone phutego re bone e tsene mo tsatsi la gompieno e le gore e tsamaisiwa ke mo tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi je le gore ke ene modulasetulo wa lekalana lone la the SADC organ on politics defense and security e le gore ke ne e tsene mo teng o ta itse gore the SADC Troika organ tota ke bopileng ke lehatshe la Botswana e le gore ke lone modulasetulo lehatshe la South Africa le gore ke lone le tabele tsa modulasetulo mo go tota Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi mo re gangwaga mme tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi ene a na tsa bodulasetulo le mo go tautona wa Zimbabwe bon re Emmerson Mnangagwa re solofetse gore mo nakong e sa iseng pele tota yone phutego e be e simologa re bota bona gore ta tsamaya the official opening ya yone tota ke ene le gore ta go itsisa ka thamagalelo ka gore alo jalo gore ta bona
Shall we rise? The heads of state are just walking in. Thank you. We will go straight into the anthem, starting with the anthem of the Republic of Botswana, followed by SADC and AU. Thank you. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, good afternoon. Welcome to the extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit plus Force Intervention Brigade Troop contributing countries and the Democratic Republic of Congo and Republic of Mozambique. Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, my name is Barbara Lopi from the SADC Secretariat. I have the honor to direct this official opening session. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, allow me to recognize the heads of state or their representatives who are participating in this SADC Extraordinary Troika Summit. We have from the Republic of Botswana, His Excellency President Dr. Mokwesi Eric Kiabeswe Masisi, the President of the Republic of Botswana and Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, who is also our gracious host. From the Republic of South Africa, we have His Excellency President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, the President of the Republic of South Africa and the incoming Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. From the Republic of Zimbabwe, we have His Excellency President Dr. Emerson Dambuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe and the outgoing Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. From the Democratic Republic of Congo, we have His Excellency President Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. From the Republic of Malawi, we have His Excellency President Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, the President of the Republic of Malawi, who is also the incoming Chairperson of SADC. From the United Republic of Tanzania, we have Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, who is representing His Excellency President Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. From the Republic of Mozambique, we have Honorable Jaime Bessa Augusto Neto, the Minister of Defense, who is representing His Excellency President Felipe Jacinto Nunes, the President of the Republic of Mozambique. Up front here on the high table, seated on the left side of the chairperson, His Excellency President Masisi, we have the Honorable Minister of International Affairs and Cooperation of the Republic of Botswana, Honorable Dr. Lemohang Kwape, who is also the chairperson of the Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation. To the right side of the chairperson, President Masisi, we have Her Excellency Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, the Executive Secretary of SADC. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished delegates, our program this afternoon will be as follows. We will start with the introductory remarks from the SADC Executive Secretary, who will invite the chairperson, His Excellency Dr. Mokwesi Masisi, to deliver the welcome and official remarks. At this point, may I now invite the Executive Secretary of SADC Her Excellency Dr. Stekomena Lawrence Tax to deliver the introductory remarks. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Allow me to speak with my mask on, observing that I'm not the last person who is going to use this podium. I might not be very audible, but please bear with me because we have to observe COVID-19 protocol. But I'll try as much as possible to be audible. Your Excellency, Dr. Makwesi Erika Masisi, the President of the Republic of Botswana and the Chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and the representatives of the Intervention Brigade troop contributing countries, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Mozambique. I should have started by saying, Your Excellencies, Heads of State of Organ Troika, Honorable Dr. Raymond Kapwe, Minister of International Affairs and Cooperation of the Republic of Botswana, and the Chairperson of the SADC Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, Honorable Ministers, distinguished senior officials, Chiefs of Defense and Security Institutions, and the delegates from SADC member states present here. My colleagues, Secretariat staff, partners from the media, a very good afternoon. May I begin by expressing our gratitude to the government and people of the Republic of Botswana for hosting this very important organ meeting, or Organ Troika Summit, plus our Force Intervention Brigade troop contributing countries, which are Malawi, Tanzania, and South Africa, and the Democratic Republic of Congo and Mozambique, notwithstanding the challenges, but also the risk posed by COVID-19 pandemic. Given the current challenges posed by the pandemic and the pressing national schedules, I wish to express our heartfelt appreciation for the invaluable time and resources that Your Excellencies have committed to this summit, which has been convened to address immediate and emergency security threats and challenges in our region. Since the summit of August 2020, the Republic of Seychelles and the United Republic of Tanzania held national and general elections. Allow me to congratulate the people of Seychelles for the peaceful elections and smooth transfer of power, and Tanzania for the peaceful election. As part of the consolidation of democracy, SADC conducted virtual electoral stakeholders engagement as we could not deploy physically in these two countries. Allow me to thank His Excellency, President Mokwasi Masisi, the chairperson of the SADC organ, for his invaluable leadership and for appointing Honorable Dr. Raymond Kwape and Honorable Demizwin Meshaki Mkulu as head and alternative heads of missions to this electoral stakeholders engagement. And may I thank the head of mission for their leadership, which enabled us to conduct successful stakeholders engagement. Your Excellencies, terrorism remains one of the most serious threats to peace and security and economic development and the social integration, not only to SADC, but this is globally. There is an absolute no country that can say is immune to the threat of terrorism. Terrorism poses fundamental challenges to SADC member states and to the region at large. In recent years, the region has recorded an increase in acts of terrorism, specifically in Mozambique and the DRC. These sister countries are experiencing an escalation of violent attacks, and many innocent lives are being lost, and the communities are being displaced, thus disrupting regional peace and security and impeding regional integration. Signs are also now visible in Tanzania, especially along the Ruvuma River, where attacks were reported. allow me to express our deepest condolences to the government and people of Mozambique, Tanzania, and Malawi, and their families of the deceased. While terrorism attack may have been isolated in these countries, if not decisively curtailed, they have a potential to spread across the entire region. And the region can be used as a launchpad for terrorism and violent attacks. Timely sharing of intelligence as well as clear understanding of the type of assistance that the region can provide to the member states that are currently directly or indirectly affected by acts of terrorism need not to be overemphasized. Sharing of such information will enable the region to put in place an effective and coordinated regional response as envisaged by the SADC Mutual Defense Pact. In cognizance of such potential challenges, a comprehensive regional strategy to prevent and combat acts of international and domestic terrorism was adopted by Summit in 2015. This is an appropriate time that we fully operationalize the strategy and put it to use and test. In this regard, may I also report that the establishment of the Regional Anti-Terrorism Center is ongoing and is expected to be operational during 2021. Once the process of hosting the center has been finalized, the center will be managed by professionals and experts and will facilitate effective surveillance and a timely intervention by the SADC region. Your Excellencies, as directed by Summit in August 2020, an extra meeting of State Security Subcommittee was held in October 2020 to assess the threat of terrorism in the region. The committee's report was considered by the Defense and Security Clusters and by the Ministerial Committee of the organ, which took place yesterday. The report of the MCO and the recommendation thereof that are designed to enhance regional cooperation in preventing and combating terrorism and security threat to the region will be presented for your consideration during this summit. Furthermore, in line with the same decision of August 2020, calling upon the Secretary General of the United Nations to engage SADC and SADC's position on the reconfiguration of the Force Intervention Brigade under the United Nations Organization Stabilization Stabilization in the DRC, MONUSCO framework. A number of consultations at military and political level were held between SADC and the United Nations between October and November this year. The outcome of these engagements will also be tabled during this summit for your consideration. In conclusion, allow me to extend our gratitude to Honorable Dr. Kwape, the chairperson of the MCO, for remaining steadfast in guiding the work of the MCO since August 2020. The period may seem very short, but indeed it has been very hectic. May I also thank the ministers for the cooperation and the guidance rendered to the SADC Secretariat. All what has been achieved would not have been possible without the outstanding leadership of the chairperson of the organ, His Excellency Dr. Makwesi Masisi. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being there for SADC, for your prompt response and guidance. With these introductory remarks, it is now my honor to invite His Excellency Dr. Masisi, the chairperson of the Organ on Public Defense and Security Cooperation, to deliver his remarks and to officiate this extraordinary summit of the Organ Troika Summit plus those other countries which I had already referred to. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asanteni sana. Galebo. Your Excellency, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Executive Secretary. Your Excellency, President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa and the incoming chairperson of the SADC Organ on Politics, Defense and Security. Your Excellency Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the outgoing chairperson of the SADC organ on politics, defense, and security. Your Excellencies and dear colleagues, the heads of state and government from the Force Intervention Brigade Troop contributing countries, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Honorable Minister Neto, representing President Nyusi of Mozambique, Your Excellency Dr. Stegumana Lawrence Tax, the Executive Secretary of SADC, Honorable Ministers, senior officials, members of the media, a very good afternoon to you all. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this very important, extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit, plus the Force Intervention Brigade Troop contributing countries, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Mozambique. In particular, I wish to warmly welcome you, Your Excellencies, and your respective delegations to the city of Gaborone. As you may recall, it was here in Gaborone in June 1996 that the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation was established by the Summit heads of state and government. We will all agree that the establishment of the organ was not only a historic milestone, but also a beacon of hope for peace and prosperity in the region. It also reflected the will and resolve of the SADC leaders to lay a strong foundation for the region's socio-economic development and prosperity. Our meeting here today reminds us of the vision our predecessors had when they created the organ as an indispensable body entrusted with the mandate of consolidating, defending, and maintaining democracy, stability, as well as peace and security in the region. There is no doubt that peace and security are a strong pedestal for deepening political cooperation and cohesion towards regional integration and socio-economic development. It is for this reason that SADC Vision 2050, the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan, recognizes that peace, security, and stability are not only complementary, but preconditions for national, regional, and global development. Your Excellencies, your presence here today at a time when the world is experiencing a devastating challenge occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic clearly attests to your personal commitment and that of your respective governments to the ideals of this organization. It is a testament to the unwavering resolve towards the realization of our predecessors' vision of a region that is peaceful, that is stable, secure, and prosperous. What is even more encouraging and commendable is that we are all at it, individually and collectively, tightening here and lubricating there in our efforts to ensure that the SADC aspirations and priorities are fully realized. It is for this reason that I wish to pay a deserving tribute to two of our sister countries of the region, namely the Republic of Seychelles and the United Republic of Tanzania, for holding true to their constitutional commitments. The two countries managed to conduct successful elections last month, despite the overwhelming challenges occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. And with that said, I invite you to applaud them. In this regard, I wish to once again extend our sincere congratulations to the new President of the Republic of Seychelles, His Excellency, Mr. Wevel Ramkalawan. I wish also to extend our sincere congratulations to His Excellency, President Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, for his re-election. In the same vein, I wish to commend the people of the two countries for the peaceful elections. The election outcomes in the two countries are clearly indicative of a regional culture that is characterized by political and democratic maturity. Your Excellencies, even though the region's performance in the areas of democracy and peace remains the envy of many, there are some emerging issues that are threatening the preservation of our peace and security. These include terrorism, insurgencies, cybercrime, and transnational organized crimes. By their very nature, these are not issues that member states can individually deal with. As such, there is a need for an integrated and coordinated regional approach to effectively deal with these imminent threats. This is the main reason we are meeting today. Your Excellencies will recall that at our last organ Troika Summit that was held on the 14th August 2020, we endorsed a report of the assessment of security threats to the SADC region. Even though the report identified a number of security threats, it singled out terrorism as the most serious threat that need urgent attention from all the member states. As we all know, terrorism is very cancerous in nature. Once it finds fertile ground, it spreads out like bushfire. There is, therefore, an absolute need to urgently nip it in the bud before it engulfs the entire region. I am confident that our meeting will be able to come up with concrete initiatives aimed at ensuring that the scourge of terrorism does not find home in our region. We will also put our heads together during this meeting to find ways we can continue to support our sister country, the DRC, in the search for durable peace and security, particularly in the eastern part of the country. Addressing the situation in the DRC is very important in our efforts towards regional integration and prosperity. Finally, may I once again welcome you to Botswana. I trust that the arrangements we've put at your disposal are conducive to your personal comfort. I look forward to our successful and fruitful deliberations. I wish to thank you with our common saying in Botswana, Pula.
Thank you, Your Excellence, for welcoming us. Distinguished delegates, this marks the end of the opening session of the extraordinary SADC Troika Summit. The meeting will now continue in camera, so we will request the colleagues in the media to be excused. We will invite you at the end of the meeting for the closing, where a communique will be delivered, and I'm also informed that there's a press conference at the end of the summit. We'll give you 1 minute just to do the cutaways of their excellencies. 1 minute, you're allowed to just go around and take good photos. Then you can be excused. Thank you.
DRC go back a very long way. There are a number of persons of DRC origin who not only have resided and some had sought refuge in Botswana ages ago, but later on in life, as life would have it, when the DRC was going through a difficult time, they chose one of our own, or accepted one of our own, in the person of Sekitumile Johnny Masire, our former president, to be the facilitator of the inter-Congolese dialogue, which dialogue yielded the peace dividend that the DRC enjoyed in later years. And that connection brought the two countries even closer together. But that aside, there are very many people in the DRC who are committed to the ideals that we hold dear, that we both cherish, ideals of democracy, ideals of the respect for the rule of law, ideals of peace, tranquility, stability, prosperity, and humanity. And it is these ideals that we desire for the DRC. Our own foreign policy, now and in the past, continues to be an exemplification of these ideals. And in that being, we want to, using the position that I now hold on behalf of the people of Botswana, of being chairman of the organ, utilize those, share those with countries such as the DRC when and if they need such intervention. So when we had our discussion this morning, I did express this kind of fraternity to His Excellency President Tshisekedi. And I must say that it wasn't the first time we met. We had been meeting on a number of occasions and exchanged pleasantries before. But we engaged quite intensely this morning in my role as chairman of the organ to try and establish from his perspective and his experience what the realities are in the DRC and what is support, what role they foresaw we playing. I expressed this from the knowledge that we only have the interest of the DRC at heart. We have no national interest in the DRC. What we hold as values dear to ourselves, we also wish for the DRC. So the peace we enjoy here, the democracy we enjoy here, the development or the trajectory of development that we have here, the partnerships we enjoy, the experiences we enjoy, we wish that for the DRC. And I want to attest to you that His Excellency Tshisekedi not only wittingly and very, very candidly, analytically placed the challenges and the issues of the DRC before myself as a chairperson, and expressed a deep desire to have the challenges resolved, and informed me that he's also been in touch with President Ramaphosa, who is the AU chair, but also one of the guarantors with Egypt and Kenya of the peace in the DRC, but was pleased that SADC, through the organ initially, is keen on this. And so we've agreed to be in communication over time. At a bilateral level, in terms of our development experiences, President Tshisekedi, unsurprisingly, expressed interest in a deeper understanding of how we manage our mineral resource, the diamonds. And so I, on behalf of the people and the government of Botswana, have invited him to pay a visit, a state visit, sometime convenient to himself next year. And rather than see the diamonds here in the Diamond Park, we will start him with a tour of the mine, and we'll go through the whole value chain. The DRC, had been the chair of the Kimberley process, and next year, Botswana assumes the chairmanship of such. So the scope for even bilateral cooperation is enormous as a system member state of SADC, and that we talked about, and we were really just teasing for much more. Please, as I end, be reminded that the DRC, once we can help them find the stability and peace they need, that we need, will be successful and prosperous. And we want DRC to be successful and prosperous. If for no other reason than for their own sake, for our sake too, because a prosperous DRC equals a prosperous Botswana, equals a prosperous SADC, equals a prosperous Africa. So, Your Excellency, I will hand over to you. And as we say in Botswana, you are at liberty to eliminate, cancel, negate everything I said, or say as you please. Thank you.
Monsieur le Président et chers frères, merci beaucoup pour ces mots touchants, chaleureux. En effet, cet accueil a été très chaleureux et j'ai été heureux et très très satisfait de mon séjour ici. D'autant plus que le président Massissi, mon frère, m'a invité officiellement à revenir pour une visite d'État et je l'ai accepté avec honneur. Ce serait un plaisir de revoir ce pays la prochaine fois. Un pays que je respecte beaucoup, un pays qui défend les mêmes valeurs que moi, de lutte contre les mauvaises choses telles que la corruption, de lutte pour l'intégrité, la probité, la démocratie, le respect des droits de l'homme, la bonne gouvernance. Ce sont vraiment des valeurs que le Botswana possède et qu'il doit étendre à toute l'Afrique. Toute l'Afrique, je crois, doit suivre ce modèle du Botswana qui nous permettra à pouvoir relever notre continent. Mes remerciements également aux pays membres de l'organe. Je pense ici à l'Afrique du Sud et au Zimbabwe, et à leurs leaders, pour tout ce mal qu'ils se donnent pour que le Congo, notre pays, se débarrasse des violences injustement attachées à son histoire récente. Nous voulons tout mettre en œuvre, et moi en premier, pour que plus jamais le Congo ne vive les horreurs qu'il vit depuis maintenant une vingtaine d'années. Ça suffit. Et je suis heureux de constater qu'il y a une prise de conscience, davantage de conscience du danger qui nous guette, parce que depuis peu, cette violence a changé de forme. Elle a pris une allure de terrorisme violent et inhumain, parce que ces groupes terroristes s'en prennent à des populations innocentes, mais en plus en les mutilant avant de les tuer. Ce sont vraiment des scènes d'horreur, et je suis heureux de constater que nous sommes en train de nous liguer pour faire face à ces horreurs qui touchent 3 pays maintenant. Il y a la République démocratique du Congo, certes, mais aussi la Tanzanie et le Mozambique. Nous avons donc le devoir de nous mobiliser pour faire face à ces groupes terroristes qui ne sont encore qu'embryonnaires. Et je crois qu'avant qu'ils ne s'étendent à toute la région, comme c'est malheureusement le cas au Sahel, ce qui devient très difficile à combattre, je pense qu'il est encore grand temps de pouvoir les neutraliser complètement. Et j'aimerais également remercier l'organe, les pays de la SADC en général, à travers l'organe, de son implication directe dans la brigade d'intervention la FAIB, par le Malawi, la Tanzanie et l'Afrique du Sud, aux côtés de la MONUSCO, qui est déjà là, pour accompagner les forces armées de la République démocratique du Congo à combattre toutes ces violences qui traversent l'Est de notre pays. Et cela m'encourage à continuer, à être déterminé à vaincre, et je suis tout à fait confiant quand je vois comme ça les pays frères, avec leurs leaders en tête, s'engager à nos côtés contre le mal. Je tiens donc à vous dire que j'ai passé un très bon séjour ici. Je ne contredis en rien le président Masisi qui a très bien décrit la manière dont nous avons discuté. On a eu un entretien intense, riche en enseignements. Et je le remercie vraiment pour sa disponibilité, ses conseils. Et je lui dis à bientôt, cher frère. Ce n'est qu'à nous revoir, je reviendrai encore ici. Voilà. Merci, mesdames et messieurs de la presse. À présent, nous sommes à votre disposition pour d'éventuelles questions.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. At this juncture, I'll invite members of the Fourth Estate to pose questions. And as always, our wish is that we could focus ourselves on the subject matter or on the deliberations made by the Excellencies. But as always, we can never stop the media from asking what's in their minds. Please introduce yourself, Paco, first. Please stand up so that you're audible. Sorry, maybe you should go to the microphone reserved for Zimbabwe. Be a representative of Zimbabwe for a moment. Put it on. This one.
Yes.
Thank you. My first question would be to the President, President Masisi, in his capacity as the chair of this organ. There's been a decision to sort of, let me look at the particular decision from the communique. The 4th Intervention Brigade troops to create a headroom. Could you please just kindly explain that to us? Does it mean having a particular place where these SADC forces will be based, a center for SADC troops? And is it going to be one center where, if there's going to be conflict in any part of SADC, that they would be having a particular base? I just need a bit of clarity on that one. And to President Tshisekedi, my question would be, the DRC has been experiencing conflicts, unfortunately for about many decades, even before independence. But this is one country which is, has some of the richest resources on the continent. What long-term plan, beyond solving the challenges that you tend to face every now and then, what long-term plans do you have in order to make better use of the huge natural resources which have the potential to develop the rest of the subcontinent as well as the continent? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I guess we should allow the Excellencies to answer questions, and then we go to the gentleman from the DRC, then Sillo. I suggest you go and queue up the microphone there.
Oh, sorry.
Let's respond, Your Excellency. I think it's better that way.
All right. The question, Paco, to do with the troops, the brigade, it's specifically for DRC, one, as part of our joint efforts with MONUSCO. And it's when the need arises that they will be mobilized for DRC only. It's not for the whole of SADC. All right? Minister, can you clarify that?
I think the essence of it is that this is drawn from the MONUSCO, which is a United Nations Security Council, and it's specific for the issue at the DRC. But I think the essence of your question was to ask if this can be drawn as and when there's a situation. The answer to that is no.
Your Excellency, Tshisekedi, there was a question directed to you, sir.
Oui, merci. En effet, la République démocratique du Congo, mon pays, a eu à faire face à plusieurs conflits. Mais si vous regardez bien en toile de fond de ces conflits, c'est surtout pour des raisons politiques. À cause évidemment de la gestion politique de notre pays, cela a attiré des périodes d'instabilité. Et ça remonte aux années de l'indépendance. Et donc, puisque vous parlez de plan, je pense que la première des choses, c'est d'abord d'instaurer une vraie démocratie, un état de droit, qui va pouvoir prendre en compte et respecter les droits et les libertés des individus. Ensuite, cet état de droit permettra une gestion transparente de la chose publique et évitera ainsi de l'instabilité. Il y aura une justice indépendante qui rassurera les investisseurs, entre autres, lesquels, puisque vous faisiez allusion à nos richesses, pourront venir justement nous aider à mettre en valeur ces richesses, à les transformer sur place et à y donner une valeur ajoutée qui permettra à notre économie de se relever. Et en se relevant, notre économie pourra redistribuer cette richesse à toute la population et ainsi pouvoir lutter contre la pauvreté, parce que c'est là aussi la pauvreté, qui à mon avis d'ailleurs est injuste pour un pays comme la République démocratique du Congo, est à la base de beaucoup de problèmes que nous avons en interne, entre les communautés par exemple. Vous verrez que c'est parce qu'il y a du chômage, il n'y a pas d'éducation, il n'y a pas de soins de santé, que cela entraîne évidemment tous ces problèmes. Donc, voilà pourquoi j'attaque aussi ce problème de pauvreté en tentant maintenant une opération que j'espère prendra finalement forme au fur et à mesure que les années passeront, c'est la gratuité de l'éducation. Et déjà, à ce stade, nous avons permis à plus de 4 millions d'enfants qui étaient hors circuit, hors parcours scolaire, de revenir grâce à la gratuité de l'éducation. Mais nous allons continuer parce que nous voulons que cette gratuité s'étende à tout le parcours des jeunes Congolais, c'est-à-dire l'éducation de base, l'éducation secondaire et même plus tard l'éducation universitaire. Voilà le plan que j'ai et qui nécessite évidemment que le pays soit totalement pacifié et sécurisé. C'est pour ça que je m'implique bec et ongle pour que la paix et la sécurité soient une réalité dans notre pays. Et à partir de là, nous pourrons déployer ce que je vous ai dit que j'ai envie de faire. Voilà.
Thank you, Your Excellency. There's a question from the gentleman from the GRC, followed by Sello Motseta. Kifilwe, I wish and I hope you'll be the last one. Okay, Boti, you'll be the last one.
Merci beaucoup pour la parole. Je suis Giscard Kousseba de la République démocratique du Congo. J'ai une question à poser au président Eric Masisi. En janvier 2021, dans quelques semaines seulement, le président Félix Antoine Tshisekedi Tshilombo prendra la direction, la présidence de l'Union africaine. Qu'est-ce que vous attendez de sa présidence, de cette institution panafricaine, et quel soutien peut-il à son tour attendre de vous? Merci.
Oh, very simply, I expect nothing but an expression of the values that he is known for in terms of management of a continental body. And those tessellate, synchronize, and are aligned to the values of the AU. That is what I support. I will support him. He also comes from my region. There's no way I would not support my incoming chairman. So in the event that anybody might doubt it, President Tshisekedi will have my full support, and in any errand that he wishes another head of state to perform in the execution of his mandate, I will be there to volunteer. So I expect him to be successful because our region will be successful, and I wish the very best for him. I'll be there to make sure that he succeeds. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please allow Ramotseta. Let's make them brief. I guess we are all aware that His Excellency Tshisekedi has to jet out. Ramotseta, quickly.
You talk about the development of a comprehensive regional response for Mozambique. How long do you think you'll take before you've developed this proposal, and why do you think it will be successful? Thank you.
Thank you. Director to.
I'm sorry, the question is directed to the chairperson of the organ, Remasis.
Thank you very much. Maybe I should allow Kifilo to ask one, and then he'll take two of them. But you quickly make your way there. You are the last one.
Thank you. My name is Kifilo with BTV. My question is directed to both President Masisi and President Tshisekedi. I just want to find out, in your analysis, how much of external influence is filtering through into the region, leading to the rising levels of instability, and maybe external influence, I may just explain that I mean coming out of the continent. Thank you.
Your Excellency Masisi.
Thank you very much. Briefly, the comprehensive response is being developed in partnership with the affected country, in this case, Mozambique. It's ongoing. We've had a meeting before of the organ when President Mnangagwa was chair. It's evolving. We've had this meeting. It's evolving. We hope it will be so developed that we can see some benefits out of it early next year. But we will engage some more. Some of the parts, the aspects of its development are of a sensitive nature, which I could not discuss over here. But I must end by saying that the response is also dynamic. It is informed by the conditions on the ground. So it is an ongoing process. It's all intended on achieving good for Mozambique and the region. Thank you.
The next question.
Should I go to Kifilo? External influences. Since Africa, we have known from pre-colonial, colonial, imperial times, we've had external influences. To the present, some of the influences have been negative, some have been very positive. But the negative ones are the ones we wish to repel and avert. And in the recent past, the focus of this summit was to deal with the negative ones, terrorism and cyber insecurity, transnational crimes, etc. Those would come from out of Africa, and some are domiciled now in Africa. It's almost like the COVID. You know, the COVID came from somewhere outside Africa, and now it's part of us. We've got to deal with it. So it's one of those external influences we need to deal with. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Tshisekedi.
Oui, merci Madame. Moi, j'ai plutôt une approche assez particulière, je dirais. Je n'ai pas l'habitude de me plaindre des ingérences extérieures, parce que tout simplement, je sais pourquoi ces influences extérieures agissent. Et c'est simplement par notre faute. Si nous cessons d'avoir des hommes forts à la tête des pays plutôt que des institutions fortes, si nous cessons de favoriser la corruption, l'instabilité, de continuer à violer les droits de l'homme, mais forcément, nous semons nous-mêmes ce que nous récolterons demain. Nous semons en fait les prémices d'une instabilité, et donc nous permettons aux influences extérieures de venir. Parce qu'à ce moment-là, le pays n'est pas unifié, le pays est divisé à cause de ces hommes forts qui font la loi et qui s'imposent au détriment d'autres qui vont s'organiser alors à leur manière et aller chercher ces influences extérieures. Je prends l'exemple d'un pays comme le Botswana. C'est un pays qui a de fortes chances de ne jamais connaître cela, parce que c'est un pays qui est uni. Les Botswanais vivent au Botswana. On ne trouve pas des Botswanais exilés politiques dans d'autres pays en train de chercher à s'organiser pour déstabiliser le pouvoir du président Masisi. Mais c'est un pays qui ne subira, à mon avis, jamais d'influence extérieure, parce que les Botswanais sont eux-mêmes le rempart à ce genre de choses. Donc je crois que c'est ça que nous devrions penser à faire, au lieu de nous plaindre des ingérences. C'est nous-mêmes, en fait, qui faisons le lit de ces influences par notre comportement en interne. Voilà ce que je pouvais dire, et je vous remercie.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Boti, your last brief question.
My question is, Your Excellency, President Masisi, you mentioned in your opening statement about DRC's interest in how we run our mineral resources here in Botswana. I'm interested to learn, in terms of good governance and the rule of law, has DRC not shown interest in how we do our things here in Botswana to take advantage of our credentials when it comes to good governance? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I may have been too brief in my summation of our interactions with President Tshisekedi this morning, but we spent time talking about the ideals, the theories, the practices, the experiences, and the results of good governance, which he has fully embraced and has owned. He desires that. And he desires it for the people of his country. And so even in his request to come and interact with ourselves as we manage our diamonds, it is with that in mind, because for you to derive benefit out of these minerals, the good governance of those minerals and the good governance of the institutions that manage the wealth that comes, the processes that are, undertaken, would be the one that brings about the dividend. So the president of the Congo here is an ardent advocate and one who has expressed a desire to engage with these and on these. So I'm fully, convinced that His Excellency Tshisekedi desires nothing but what is best for his people and his government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Chairperson of the organ, and President Tshisekedi. We thank you for hosting this press conference. This is an indication of your appreciation of the role that the media plays in our nation states as well as our multilateral organizations. and we hope that you continue with the same spirit. And we thank you, members of the Fourth Estate, for the contribution that you play in our democracies. Good evening. We may rise and allow the Excellencies to leave the room.
Senior officials, members of the Fourth Estate, a very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. Thank you. We have come to a successful conclusion of our very important extraordinary SADC Organ Troika Summit, plus the Force Intervention Brigade troop contributing countries, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Mozambique. I am pleased to note that the outcome of our meeting is filled with promise and optimism. In this regard, I wish to thank you once again for your demonstrated spirit of unity and resolve to ensure that our region remains peaceful, stable, secure, and prosperous. That you have come all the way here in person speaks to the importance that you attach to the SADC ideals. I'm therefore confident that this expression of commitment towards finding solutions to the problems afflicting our region will go a long way in ensuring that SADC continues to lead in terms of regional integration and socio-economic development. I hope you'll all agree with me that this meeting was opportune as it provided a platform for us to interact and reflect on the prevailing security situation in our region. We also benefited from the excellent work done by the State Security Subcommittee and the report they produced on the threats of terrorism and violent extremism. It emerged from our deliberations that in order for the organ to fulfill its core mandate of sustaining peace and security and promoting democracy in the region, it has to play a central role in addressing the structural causes of conflict. These include the socio-economic threats, as well as the root cause of terrorism and violent extremism. Our discussions, therefore, also focused on the numerous challenges that our countries are facing and the measures that must be undertaken to address them. Of particular importance was the realization that incidents of terrorism are increasing in our region. To this end, the summit came up with a number of recommendations on how member states could deal with this imminent threat, including our commitment to the SADC Mutual Defense Pact. Other practical and incremental steps that we agreed on include expediting the establishment of the SADC Regional Counterterrorism Center, as well as enhancing dedicated national counterterrorism coordination structures. These include our cyber security response capacity and improving multilateral cooperation to detect, investigate, identify, and combat radicalism and violent extremism. The summit also deliberated on the strategy on the progressive and phased drawdown of United Nations Stabilization Mission in the DRC, MONUSCO for short. We agreed to maintain our full support to the DRC, even post the United Nations withdrawal from the country. This is because the ultimate objective of SADC's involvement in the DRC is to assist the country to achieve sustainable peace and security, as well as to create an environment conducive for regional integration and socio-economic development. In the overall, I can confidently say that the summit reinvigorated our conviction to rid our region of conflict and terrorism, so as to ensure that the years ahead are better, brighter, and more prosperous for all our peoples. Before concluding, I wish to acknowledge that the success of our meeting depended to a large extent on the dedicated and hard-working team of senior officials, as well as the excellent preparatory work by the Executive Secretary and her whole team at the SADC Secretariat. I wish to commend them on behalf of all my colleagues for a job very well done. Let me once again thank you, Your Excellencies, for your time and active participation in our discussions, which led to a highly productive outcome of our meeting. We trust that your short stay with us in Botswana was both enjoyable and memorable, and that it served to further strengthen the bonds of solidarity and friendship that so happily subsist among our countries in the SADC region. I thank you all, and I wish you very safe journeys back to your respective countries, as well as health and safety for your peoples during this difficult time of the COVID-19 pandemic. And again, as we say in Botswana, apulaine, let there be rain.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We will now have the reading of the communique, and after that we'll close with the anthem. And then, like I mentioned, after Their Excellencies leave, the press should remain for the press conference. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, before I read the communique, since the media was here before, I erroneously indicated that Malawi had registered some terrorist attack and expressed condolences to Malawi. That was an error. My speech is there. Please get it. It is very clear. I meant to express condolences to Mozambique, the DRC, and the United Republic of Tanzania. Please, in your reports, correct that. Your Excellencies, the communique reads as follows. Communique of the Extraordinary Organ Troika Summit plus Force Intervention Brigade, troop contributing countries, the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Mozambique, 27th November 2020. Number one, the Extraordinary Organ Troika Summit plus Force Intervention Brigade troop contributing countries, namely Malawi, Tanzania, and South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the Republic of Mozambique, was held in Gaborone, the Republic of Botswana, on the 27th November 2020. Number two, the Extraordinary Organ Troika Summit was officially opened by His Excellency Dr. Mokwesi Eriki Kanyebwese Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana and the Chairperson of SADC Organ Police Defense and Security Cooperation. The Extraordinary Organ Summit was attended by the following heads of state and government and all their representatives. Botswana, His Excellency President Dr. Mokwesi Eriki Kanyebwese Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana, Chairperson of the Organ on Police Defense Security Cooperation. South Africa, His Excellency President Matemera Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the Republic of South Africa, and the incoming Chairperson of the Organ on Police Defense and Security Cooperation. Zimbabwe, His Excellency Emerson Ndambuzo Mnangagwa, President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and the outgoing Chairperson of the Organ on Police Defense and Security Cooperation, the DRC, His Excellency President Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, President of the Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Malawi, His Excellency President Dr. Lazarus McCarthy Chakwera, the President of the Republic of Malawi. Tanzania, Her Excellency Suluhu Hassan, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, representing His Excellency President Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and Mozambique, Honorable Jaime Besa Augusto Neto, Minister of Defense, representing His Excellency Filippo Jacinto Nyusi, the President of the Republic of Mozambique. The extraordinary Organ Troika Summit was also attended by Her Excellency Dr. Sregomena Lawrence Tax, the SADC Executive Secretary. 5. The extraordinary Organ Troika Summit noted with concerns the act of terrorism in the region, particularly in Cabo Delgado province of the Republic of Mozambique, and expressed continued SADC solidarity with Mozambique. Number 6, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit directed the finalization of a comprehensive regional response and support to the Republic of Mozambique to be urgently considered by Summit. Number 7, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit accepted the proposal by the United Nations to realign the current Force Intervention Brigade troops' strength to create the headroom for the Quick Reaction Force and generate 2 Quick Reaction Forces from SADC troop contributing countries. Number 8, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit expressed appreciation to the United Nations for the continued partnership and support. Number 9, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit pledged regional support to the development and the implementation of the joint strategy on the progressive and phased down of MONUSCO in the phased drawdown in the MONUSCO in the DRC. Let me repeat number 9. The extraordinary Organ Troika Summit pledged regional support to the development and the implementation of a joint strategy on the progressive and the phased drawdown of MONUSCO in the DRC. Number 10, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit commended the Republic of Seychelles and the United Republic of Tanzania for conducting peaceful elections and congratulated His Excellency Wave Ramkalawan and His Excellency John Pombe Joseph Magufuli for winning the elections. 11, and last, the extraordinary Organ Troika Summit commended His Excellency Dr. Makwesi Eriki Kanyabwese Masisi, President of the Republic of Botswana and the Chairperson of the Organ on Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, for convening the summit notwithstanding COVID-19 pandemic challenges. Issued at Gaborone, the Republic of Botswana, today, the 27th of November, 2020. That is the end of the communique for this extraordinary Organ Troika Summit, plus troop contributing countries and the DRC and the Mozambique. Thank you.
Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax. We're now going to close the meetings with the anthem. Shall I request that we all rise?
Motswana o se mona kwa gompieno sampe re na le bo total na le kgwetonyana ya modumo ono jaaka go mahatse ba opela pina ya setšhaba national anthem jaaka re tlwaelo jaaka o itse gore go tshwanetse re go opela dipina tsa setšhaba ha mahatse a kopane mona kwa gompieno sampe re le ka go bankanya gore modumo go ka tswa o diragetse jang mme se le go supa gore phutego yone ya the SADC Organ Troika on Politics, Defense, Security ke jaaka e tla bo khutlong phutego le gore e ne e tshwaretse mono gaborone tota o itse gore tota le kana le according to article 9 la SAREC e simogile mono gaborone tota ka ngwaga wa 1996 ka kgwedi ya August e le 14 tota ya le futsa August tota jaaka mahasi a le lesomele bone bana ba dumela ka bongwe pele gore ba go swantse go na le lekalana le dithodimela le le tlhokomela dikgang tsa sepolitiki tsa itshireletsa le tokgamo mo kgaolong ya SADC gore sepela se se diragala mo kgaolong eno ba na le se ba ka itshegasang ka sone ne re bona ile gore tautona Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi ona a tswala phutego yona mana a tlhalosa gore botota e le lekgotla la SADC kota tshwanetse gore ba ithagana go dikgantsone tsa tota dikgantsone tsa terrorism kgotsa borukutlhi le mahase tse le gore di a tshwenya mo kgaolong eno ya SADC tsena bua gore go ya ka go bona ba lemogile le gore dikgantsone tsa terrorism ke tsone tse le gore di ba ita tsebe e le ba baetedipele ba kgaolo eno ya SADC ba dumela gore dikgang tse tshwanetse re di emiswe ka ponya a leitlho mme ona a tlhalosa gore tota go tshwanetse go nne le gore ba dumela gore for agree to maintain full support of dikgang tsa go DRC gore go nne le kagiso go le gatseng lena la DRC e le gore ke yone tla dira gore batho ba le gatseng ba tshele ka phuthologo go sena dikgang dipe ja go ntse kgaolo lena DRC ke le gatseng le gore le iphithelang le na le gare ga mathata tota e le gore ke borukhutlhi kgotsa le re dithaselo tse di dirang ke bangwe ba ba tlhabane teng kono mme le gore batho ba ka heta bo 300,000 ba setse ba tshabile malapeng a bone mme ba le 200 ba ka tshwara heta 2,000 e le gore ba latlhegetswe ke matshelo mme sengwe se re se boneng gape ke gore tota phutego yone e tsamaya jaana e le gore ne re bona tota go tsile mahatsheng ba mahatse tota a ka tshwara tota a ka tshwara bosupa tota e le gore batho ba ne ba emetse bone batho ba mahatse ana jaaka gona
Asubisi na Congo na Laliguna lelo nazo avion komanda ya report ya Matadi arbi na ngarbi beaucoup kende te l'espace aérien congolais est fermé l'espace aérien congolais est fermé tout ça sur ordre de Nani Rwandais, ordre de Nani Rwandais, ordre de Nani Rwandais. So boyo kina nazuri sur Rwandais lobby na kutubuda ulibo Tshisekedi aza ya kwenda ala ndore mjira alo ya mukende abuti hao c'est un Rwandais je voudrais voir ce gouverneur venir m'empêcher de faire mon meeting là-bas.
Peut-être qu'il n'y aura pas de militants, hein.
Vous allez voir.
Est-ce que vous n'avez pas peur qu'il y ait des débordements? S'il a interdit, ça risque de chauffer, non?
Qui a interdit ça?
Le gouverneur.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il représente, ce gouverneur-là? Je vous dis déjà que son chef est un Rwandais. Tout le peuple partout où j'ai passé me demande de renvoyer ce Rwandais à Kigali. Place n'est pas ici, son chef de ce fameux gouverneur-là.
Et là,
de quel droit est-ce que lui peut oser d'ailleurs venir? Vous allez voir s'il va oser venir dans vos stades m'empêcher de tenir mon meeting. Mais je parle de ma campagne en moi.
Oui.
Moi, je n'ai pas fait de campagne. Partout où j'ai été, le peuple congolais me proclame déjà président de la République démocratique du Congo. Quelques Rwandais adressent pour l'applaudir. Donc, un aventurier de ce genre-là peut oser légiférer maintenant sur l'espace aérien congolais, vous vous rendez compte? Jusqu'à la tour de contrôle, naïba, combo ya commanda wana, aza kupekesa tout kitana andi. Je veux lui porter plainte. Nientamo Kabila bokende, aukende na Kabila, akuti haote. Nientamo Kabila bokende, aukende na Kabila, akuti haote. Nientamo Kabila bokende, aukende na Kabila, akuti haote. Commanda na bino ala soki commanda ya tour de contrôle ya andi. I'll be here.